Oh man, that feels so good to like get off our chest and talk about.
I feel relaxed.
I've been faking board game card enthusiasm for decades, and I hate it.
It's the Paul and Tom Show with Paul Schisler and Tom Brink.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Welcome back.
I forget every time.
And it only exists because of AI.
Our partner and intern, AI.
Darren.
Darren AI, spelled in code. Darren spelled in code.
10001.
Hey, Darren, if you're listening, you suck.
But we love you, Darren. We wouldn't have an intro without you.
Fictional Darren.
Yeah, Darren does our AI voice for our intro. He does all our transcriptions, which are like 90% accurate.
We hate him, but we need him.
Yeah, we need you, Darren. Darren has other voices too.
Yeah.
That we haven't played with.
Should we intro the shows?
Hi, welcome to the show, Paul and Tom Show.
Welcome back. Thanks for bringing your ears.
Yeah. Those. And or if you're on YouTube and you're watching this.
The tubes?
Our last video got 14 views.
Oh, viral.
They say video podcasts are the next big thing. They've been saying this since podcasts. And it might not be true, but
it'll be true for us. You know what, though? That's 14 really, really amazing, valuable people.
Oh, we love you, 14 people.
We're devoted to you. We listen to you.
We only have a podcast because of you. Our numbers are better for downloads.
Oh, yeah. That's, it's all about the downloads.
But to help us out, you could subscribe, and then it'll automatically download.
Subscribe.
Make new episodes.
Rate. Comment. The Paul and Tom Show. We'd love that.
We would.
And we'll shout out to you.
Oh, yeah. We haven't.
We have some shout outs?
We do. I have to pull up Apple Podcasts. Where is our show? Okay. Paul and Tom Show. So we have a thank you for Lee Schisler.
My dad.
Joel.
Joe Welke.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out. Thanks for the just the loving, true, honest words about having a good time with this podcast.
Thank you, Nikki M, for your comment. I happen to know this person, and her name is not Nikki M, and she doesn't know how to change it. I think Apple just gave it to her.
And that's why we love you, Nikki.
AKA my girlfriend. Sherry Rod Remix.
Oh, yeah. Bing, 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 bing.
Love you. Only met you once, but you're incredible. Love your gram. Love your boyfriend. And Sweet Jemima.
Sweet Jemima.
I don't know if that's appropriate or not.
It is, because, it is.
There's no picture. But they said good, clean fun. So that's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. We appreciate that.
We appreciate that. We appreciate you. Thank you. Join the love, rate, subscribe, comment. It would mean the whole entire world to us. Join us in this journey.
Could you imagine when we just raised our coffee cups and we did the man show thing?
What's the man show thing?
Fuck.
I wasn't allowed to watch most of that stuff growing up, so it kind of continued into adulthood where I would avoid watching like adult shows.
Yeah, it was one of those, like,
I know it's
you
Jimmy
watch
Kimmel.
when you're at your friend's house.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, it was like, man, someone's listening to this and like
just like ripping their hair out like these. I never.
Well, maybe we should get Jimmy Kimmel on the show,
Yeah.
and he can clear things up for us.
I'm sure he would love to do that.
Dude.
Hey, Jimmy, tell us about the man show.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy, after you're done recording in your studio in Hollywood, you want to come across town and come to my partially furnished office?
You know what I was thinking about that? Technically, it's like, hey, we're both from the same town. We both live in the same town.
As Jimmy
Hey,
Kimmel?
Hey, fellow Los Angeles.
Yeah. And
So, like, the person that views, like you come from a small town and you run into the person in some other state, you're like, hey, I'm from Titusville too.
yeah.
The person that in their head thinks and talks about like Ryan Gosling. We live in the same town. Technically true, but
Technically
in
true.
insane perspective, like, hey, we're both from Los Angeles. Like, no, we're from different worlds.
Well, yeah, I was thinking about that this morning. Like, you're like, hey, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, if you ever happen to be in town, I know you shoot globally, but
Globally. And you have a bunch of houses and you're fishing, you're breeding horses, I think, and playing dress up with your girls. But if you can squeeze it in.
yeah, I mean, there's so many people in town.
There's so many fellow neighbors here in Los Angeles.
Like Robert Downey Jr., we can pack up our stuff and come to you.
We travel light. We'll bring you a Zoa.
We can guarantee that.
100%.
Honestly, a case.
It won't be cold. It'll be good-ish, though.
Yeah, well, you have ice.
You got ice. So, offers on the table. Fellow neighbors in Los Angeles.
Fellow neighbors in Los Angeles. Come through.
That's incredible.
It would be sick if our first guest was someone like really
comically
notable.
huge.
Yeah.
Ridiculously, hilariously big.
An athlete, an actor, a producer.
Just throwing it out into the world.
Manifestation.
You moved to Los Angeles and then immediately you're like, oh yeah, manifestation's real. That crystal looks helpful.
Yeah.
All the things.
Checking our stars.
Yeah, I mean, who looks up to stars? Even people who like
Some people, it's their job.
I know, but people who follow astrology and follow the stars
Yeah.
aren't actually looking up at the stars. That's my take.
Mm.
Which is crazy.
So you're saying if you like just took
I'm
a
sure some
moment
do.
and just checked it out, took a breath, relaxed.
I mean, that sounds. You just saying all these words makes me feel relaxed.
Just take a blanket. My voice cracks. Meditation app for their
a meditation app where it's just a not prepared, unprofessional guy like cracking voice,
13-year-old.
Like, you're gonna take take a blanket and wait. No, they don't edit anything.
Find a pose that feels comfortable for you. If you want, you can.
Dude, the reviews on that app, people are just 1-star furious.
It would be an awesome prank CD.
Oh my god!
If they still had CDs, it would be an awesome prank CD.
This is doable with an app or some sort of download recording.
Yeah, well, because like the first few minutes need to be good.
Need to be real good.
And then every once in a while, it'll just be like, and then just picture your energy flowing down.
Just get real comfy and excuse me 1 second. Yeah, sit down and okay, next track.
You're just like, now place your hand on your heart's center. Darren, shut up! I'm recording here.
You want to start that track 3 in the middle. So they listen to the first 2 tracks and they are at a place of rest and they're like, "Oh, I'm finally calm." And then it just kind of starts popping up and they're like, "What was that?"
Yeah, it
Furious.
just something simple to start off. That'll be
Wow.
good.
I love that idea.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's been going on? I haven't seen you in like 2
Yeah,
weeks.
we went on a family vacation to Colorado.
Colorado.
Some ski town.
Smoke some doobs.
Nah, dude. Drugs? Drugs? I got life for that.
I got 2 boys.
Hi. Yeah. Tylenol and Advil on repeat daily. I don't do drugs. I do coffee constantly. Zoa, Tylenol, Advil. You got to alternate. Tylenol, Advil, melatonin. Do a
Sometimes
suicide.
Dayquil. They're getting me sick.
Oh, man, when Owen goes to preschool and then brings home a sickness and then you get sick, it's it's crazy where you watch the clock countdown of you getting sick. You
Oh,
notice they get
no.
sick, and then the next day you're like, "Oh, my throat's a little scratchy." Beep, beep, beep. Like the 24 show, that beep, beep.
You see
beep.
the different frames come up?
And the clock in the top right corner of the countdown, and you're like, man, I need to take something. And then now Esther and I are to the point where the very first signs of like the slightest scratchy throat were like Dayquil, NyQuil, Pedialyte, vitamin C, all the
Turmeric.
things.
We're
Yeah.
juicing.
Turmeric. Yeah, dude. Everything.
Detox. Pre-tox.
And then it doesn't work and you still get sick.
Yo, speaking
the
of
time.
the 24 clock, I'm jealous about how much he could do in a day.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most unrealistic.
He could
aspect of that show.
globetrot in a day.
Dude, in a day, if I do one big thing, I'm like, hey,
It's
pretty
like,
good for the week.
I went to 2 grocery stores because one didn't have everything I needed. And
it's exhausting.
oh, God. The lighting.
Oh, man.
Waiting in line. Oh, dude. Not too long ago, Lauren and I were grocery shopping. And we were doing self-checkout because they really force you on it. Like, if you're waiting in line for a normal checkout, there's a guy that comes over and he's like, there's some self-checkouts available.
They want you to
It's
take
like,
it.
I know that. I don't want to do it.
That's why I'm here.
Anyway, so she and I go through the self-checkout because we didn't have that many things.
Yeah.
And I'm scanning, she's bagging.
Yep.
The whole
It's
system.
2 volunteer employees just doing it.
Yeah. We don't get a discount for that.
You should get a discount.
You should get a discount.
Or at least free bags.
or don't hassle me about getting a bag. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm scanning and it's not treating me kindly. And it's yelling at me. It's like, you need to scan this thing or you need to do this over. It's like, dude, I just did that.
Place
I'm
it in the bagging
following the
area.
rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we just had one thing of garlic.
Ooh.
That broke me.
Just steal it.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
So I put it on the weight thing and I start punching it in. And then I was like, cool. I hit the garlic button and it said cool. And I started putting it in the bag and it started yelling at me.
Yeah.
And it was like a couple times over. And then I got so mad that I just secretly kind of just flipped off the garlic.
That's something that you and I know very well.
Yeah.
And it works mentally.
It does.
You're just like,
yeah, like for the viewers, it's not like a
it's not a full on.
It's like you just kind of hide it, just like a small
like it at the right angle. It doesn't even look like a But you turn the hand. Oh, wait a second. Why is that middle finger poking out just a little too much?
Yeah, it's like if I were to flip off my coffee, it'd be like.
You really got to give it. You really got like if I spilled the coffee, I'm mad at the mug. So like right here. Take that energy. Take that. Where you're just like, you're scanning. Your finger becomes the scanner to beep. So you did that to the garlic and it felt better?
Well, I did like kind of a stiff one where it was just like, because it was like, you're close to it. And so I was just like, it was kind of like this. I just went, and I like meant it. I was pushing it. And Lauren caught it and she was laughing so hard. And it made everything better, but she was laughing all the way until we got home. Yeah.
But like, I get it.
Yeah. Well, because you and I used to do that.
We used to do it all the time.
Because our thing was like, hey, you want to see something cool? And then we would just flip something off.
No reason, inanimate objects. Tom and I would be out in public, and be like, "Hey, Tom, you want to see something cool?" And then just do this, just like barely flick off a fire hydrant,
or just like drag it on the wall.
yeah. It makes no sense. But that we would like when we would meet a new friend.
Yeah.
We would test them to see if they like clicked with us mentally and on like a comedy humor level.
Uh-huh.
Because like certain friends you just like you get it, you fall into.
Yeah.
And into sync with them. So new people, it was the greatest, most satisfying test because either reaction is the best reaction. If you're like, hey, you want to see something cool? And just
it's like
drag your middle finger on the wall.
Oh, this is the funniest guy in the world.
Yeah, if they laugh, it's like great. You get it. Welcome.
Yeah.
And then if they're like, "What are you doing?" That's also the best feeling.
Right, because it's like, okay, they're not dumb. They're not wrong. You know you can trust them. They're not a yes man.
Yeah.
But also like, come on, guy, have fun.
Yeah, I love to immediately know that they're like, "What are you doing?" And I just like that makes me want to do it so much more.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you with Blintz, you just did this bit back in the day, and it used to make us so angry.
It was such,
like say blunt,
Blintz.
And then you just kept doing it.
And I feel like it was annoying to you guys because you're like, does Paul not know?
Yeah. And we're telling you what it is.
And because I obviously know,
yeah,
and you guys can't accept it, I'm like, I want more. It was just like, it was like a fire monster, and you're trying to throw fire at me to destroy me, but it's just making me stronger. And I'm like, Blance. And like none of us smoke.
And then it caught on, and now it's funny.
Now it took 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah, now we named our fake podcast studio Blint Studios. So
it's so funny because we don't do any of that.
No, I'm very sober. Well, and also it took me years to find out that wasn't just a funny thing you were saying, that it's an actual food.
Yeah, blintzes.
Yeah, blintzes.
That'll be something we share online one day. Tom and I, the word blintz.
Yeah, we found the longest way to spell it.
All of the letters. I mean, it's like 30 letters. Blintz, we turned into a 30-letter word.
And like immediately we did a keyboard shortcut on our phones so we could just write BTZ and it just pulls up. We can post screenshots.
Yeah, we'll do screenshots of that because that's one of our greatest accomplishments.
A recent addition, though, is Balenciaga.
Like the brand Balenciaga combined with Blintz.
It's just fun stuff.
This is very inner circle. So welcome to our very close inner circle.
Yeah, we brought up Darren, Blintz's.
I mean, there are
things off.
Years of layers to this.
Yeah. Anyway, your trip.
So the elevation sickness just kicked my butt. And most of the trip, I felt sick. Like,
I'm so
could
sorry.
barely, but that's, like in your 20s, you're like, yeah, you can just show up.
Yeah.
You can take a long trip, a long flight, whatever, just show up and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
And then you hit your 30s and you're like, yeah, let me walk and then slow jog into this fun. Let me stretch out before I start. Before I start resting, let me stretch out and prepare.
Yeah.
And I just like couldn't handle elevation. And that's vacationing in your 30s. It sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
So that was the big takeaway. I don't do high elevation mountains. Yeah.
I didn't go on any vacation recently, but the other day Lauren and I were like going around cleaning the apartment,
Mhm.
and she turns to me and she says, "So it is kind of true that like grown men still kind of have little boys in them, huh?" And I was just like, "What?
Like,
Like,
where's this coming from?
where's this
Give
coming
me
from?
context.
What is your point?" I was just kind of like, "What?" And she's like, "You've literally been walking around with a dish towel, hitting things with it, and saying, 'I'm Zorro,' over and over for like 5 minutes." I was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess you're
Yeah,
right."
in that sense, 100%.
But it was like total blackout. Didn't recall that I did it.
Because your inner little boy is
Yeah.
one with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you think like, like super macho masculine men? Like
Yeah.
in my mind, it's like a guy who's a cowboy or a rancher, like hard work life.
Mhm.
Do they still have that little boy?
Well,
Or is he dead?
Well,
Have they had to kill him?
well, they rancher dudes, they usually have like ATVs, and then they can have fun that way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or they can like throw stuff or blow things up.
Okay. Maybe modern day, yes. I'm
But
thinking of like old dudes.
they just drank.
They just drank, which is sad.
They played cards and drank.
Oh man, what lame inner little boys. Their silly outlet is like, let me pound whiskey and play boring cards. I hate playing cards. I hate it so much, dude. When dudes and men are like, hey, let's play some cards. Because it's like a quote unquote guy thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds like the least amount of fun that I want. Like, I don't even want. I'd rather just sit in a room, nothing to do, than sit around and play cards.
Dude, one time, Sean Preston and I were going to a party, and we're like, okay, cool. And like, we're showing up a little late. We're cool about it. We find a place to park that was a little too far away, and we're walking up to the door, and the door was open, but it was like a glass door and a real door. The real door was open. The glass door was closed. We get to the stoop and we peek in, and they're playing board games.
Nope.
We both looked at each other, didn't say a word, and we started walking back to the car.
I want to time travel and just be in that moment with you.
Then we went to the bar after, and we got a text like, "Hey, where are you guys? Thought you were coming."
You just
And
respond no.
I texted back, like, we worked together on this text, but I texted back, "Hey, yeah, we did show up, but we saw that you guys were playing a board game, and we didn't want to do that."
to like call them out on it and not hide behind some excuse. Oh,
And then,
so satisfying.
and then the party left and met us at another bar.
Because they know.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, these guys are cool."
They had a discussion like, hey, is this lame? I thought we were having. There was at least one person that was so bummed to leave the board game.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's really frustrating is when you're at a gathering and then someone's like, "Oh, have you heard of this board game?
Oh man, my
This new
soul
board game?"
drops. My soul drops, and I'm like, please, someone speak up and say no.
Because like you can't not play.
You can't not
Because
play.
if you're the one person who's like, "Yeah, I don't want to do this."
If you're the one person just sitting on the edge, maybe you're on
Mhm.
your phone or sitting, you're a bummer to the group, and
Yep.
then you're just like, I should just go home.
Right. And then they would still be mad at you for going home.
Yeah. Lose-lose situation.
No winning.
No winning. Oh man, that feels so good to like get off our chest and talk about.
I feel relaxed.
I've been faking board game card enthusiasm for decades, and I hate it. I don't care about being good at poker. I don't care about being good at board games and all that stuff.
Yeah. I'll play video poker. I found a website that'll let you do it for free.
Oh,
And it
interesting.
just looks like what it is at the casino, but it costs no money.
Oh,
I feel like it works better because I'm so good at it. But it's literally just like just tap some buttons
yeah.
and then it's done. And
Yeah.
then the new round done. And so it's like, okay, I can kill some time.
But you're just
with
doing
this.
it by yourself.
Yeah.
You're not in a group with actual cards.
It's essentially a phone game.
It's a phone game.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can all relate to that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, that felt good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's something I'm so excited to bring up to you. Like our dad's generation,
Mm-hmm.
that generation of man, where it's like, I guess they were men in the 80s.
Yeah.
That generation specific. Two things about those men, and this is very, I think, specific to like middle class white men of our dad's generation.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. Love the chain restaurant. Live and die by the chain restaurant. Like, hey, should we go out for dinner somewhere? It's a chain restaurant or it's nothing.
But I knew some dudes whose dads were just like, they would just like get off on seeing how much meat you could eat.
Oh man.
Like, did you see the steak he housed?
48 ouncer.
3-inch cut. Or they make the giant burgers.
The giant burgers suck.
Yeah.
But when I was younger,
You think that it's good.
you think it's good.
But now that I live here, I'm like, oh no, the
No.
flavorful tiny burgers, stack them.
Stack them. Yeah.
Stack them.
The big ball of meat between two buns, 48 toppings.
A flat meatball.
Yeah,
It's 3 meatballs flat.
it's so bad.
Yeah. Or like when it shows up from a chain restaurant with the knife in it.
Ooh, if you're getting a knife in your burger, you've made some wrong decisions.
Yeah.
It's the wooden handle,
Mm-hmm.
the rounded tip
Yep.
of the knife. Yeah. Why does that generation love chain restaurants?
Well, I think the same reason why they love just watching TV or like like watching TV, chain restaurants, processed foods. Like,
Is it because it was newer to that generation?
yeah, because they were
It was
sold on it.
exciting and new when they were growing up. So now they're like, yeah, that was like the shit.
Yeah, and like the convenience factor, and yeah, I mean they still like trust TV.
They do.
Yeah,
I remember when like Esther and I, we just got married or something and we're getting TV and our generation, it's all streaming.
Yeah.
And my dad asked, like, what are you going to do for news? Like, are you going to get cable so you can watch the news? And I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, what do you mean? How do you not have a news channel? And I was like, Dad,
the internet.
the internet.
Yeah.
Like news websites,
Mhm.
news apps,
Yeah.
Twitter, just news is everywhere online. And he couldn't process like, but how do you watch the news? You have to
Yeah.
watch cable news channel
Yeah. Yeah.
because and that generation lives and dies by like
Just leaving it on.
leaving it hours. I I still remember feelings of just like anger and annoyance as a kid at the and news shows.
Uh-huh.
It would play for 30 minutes and then it would always repeat when we get back, we're gonna and then that news segment would
It
just be
didn't have it.
repeated a few hours later.
Yeah.
It's just the same news over and over and over and over again, it felt like.
Yeah, but it's like waiting for that little fix of something new.
You know what's crazy though? As much as I don't want to watch that, I like that news type better than current news consumption because current news consumption is online is like content, content, content.
Yeah.
So even if
It's just
it
cheap.
shouldn't like this shouldn't be news, but we're treating it like news just because we need to pump more content.
Yeah.
Whereas old news is, yeah, here's 30 minutes once a day.
Well, yeah. I mean, isn't
There's
like CNN to blame for that, the 24-hour news cycle?
yeah, they're all
I remember just being like seeing stuff on the news when my dad was watching and being like, "Oh, I found out about this like a day ago."
yeah, that's scary too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what we solved, but
No, but maybe it's relatable. If it's relatable, let us know in the comments.
how do you
Share it
watch
with
your
your
news?
friends. Tag us.
Should we dive into
So we're
advice?
kind of doing a little departure from our normal advice segment, which we either get listeners to send in or we find some sort of online Dear Abby situation. But now, today, we're just going to have like questions for each other, life
Yeah,
questions that have come up in the last couple weeks.
and we're gonna help walk each other through this.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to kick off?
No, you go for it.
Okay. This is so we were just talking about we were on vacation
Mm-hmm.
with my wife's family in Colorado. Lots of adventure, lots of fun. Uh her family's very like, let's be active. Let's do all the things.
I believe that.
We have a week off. Let's
Pack it with
let's
stuff.
pack it.
Let's get busy.
Like 8 a.m. wake up. 8:34, leave the house for the hike. 11:37, we're walking over to the lunch. 12:58, we finish lunch, head over that,
Nothing
which
like a relaxing week of vacation with an itinerary.
so many things swirling for me, and I've come to adapt because, you're in a relationship, you learn to adapt to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I do appreciate the benefit of pre-planning and because you
Yeah.
maximize time so you don't waste time together. That's very
Yeah.
valuable. My eyes are open to that. But also like my family is like if we're going on vacation, we're doing a lot of sitting. We're doing a lot of like, hey, let's turn things off. Let's throw the agenda out. Let's turn the clocks around and let's just sit and relax and read a book. We have lunch when we have lunch.
Yeah.
If we decide that morning, like, hey, we should go to the park later or go for a hike later, you do it, you don't do it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I've grown up doing that. And I like, if we're on a vacation, I like the looseness of, yeah, let's do what we want to do when we feel like we want to do and not put too much planning in. But my wife loves the adventure, loves the like, oh, is there bungee jumping? We've never gone bungee jumping, but it's like, is there something that's like dangerous adjacent that's
Mm-hmm.
fun and exciting to do? Whereas I want to just like, hey, let's sit.
I wouldn't mind like my ideal is just having maybe a couple things to check out
Couple things to check out.
and then otherwise just kind of like explore, hang out, walk around town,
Yeah.
um, visit the local shops. But my main thing is finding something cool to eat.
Finding that is huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
I respect that more now because I used to be more like, yeah, we'll decide when we get there, and that's
Yeah.
not how life works.
No, because then you're like
You're
reading reviews while you're walking
oh
to the
man,
place.
it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm the type that's like, if we see a place, then we'll just pop in because that's what I did when I was single.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll check out that place, and then I hate the food.
Yeah. But you'll suffer through
but
it.
I'll suffer through it and just move
yeah.
on.
That's something I've had to come to learn to do now that I live in LA because you need a reservation to go out to dinner all the time. Like
That's so annoying.
you have to
Not at chain restaurants, you don't.
nope. And that's why you go.
That's why you go to the Bees, the Garden.
But yeah, it's like you have to think about what you want for dinner 2 weeks from now.
Yeah,
It's so annoying. There's too many people here.
yeah. So yeah, I get that on vacation it's important to like plan ahead. Like, here's where we're gonna eat and stuff. But a packed full of adventure vacation,
It's not
I'm
restful.
exhausted.
Yeah.
The entire vacation, we did a lot of fun stuff. Like we did
Mhm.
ATVs, horseback riding. It was awesome. Dude, I'm like still exhausted mentally and physically from that.
Yeah, maybe have one big activity a day, and then the rest of the day is just chilling.
I'm like, let's do one big activity for the week. I think I'm more extreme where I'm like, if it's a week long vacation, let's do 2 big things and then just relax.
You can get one big thing for every 3 days.
I love that rule.
Yeah.
One big thing every 3 days and then fill that in with,
Mhm.
sitting, reading.
Yeah, and like rent a place with like a porch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's huge.
Get a lake house, like just swim.
Yeah. I don't like swimming in lakes.
No?
No.
Is it weird to you because there's no salt?
No, it freaks me out not being able to see my feet.
Oh.
I am like irrationally terrified.
Really?
Yeah. It's not a full on phobia, but I can't get out of the water quick enough if I jump into a lake.
Just like that foggy darkness.
Yeah, oh, hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it.
Interesting.
Hate the feeling. I don't trust it.
Do you
Lake
worry
water's
about losing your
gross.
feet?
I worry about something grabbing my feet.
Is that why you
Watch-
sleep with tucked in sheets?
No, because tucked in sheets just makes sense.
It's psychotic. It's unhinged psychotic behavior.
With tucked in sheets?
You're tall. How do you fit?
California King, baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only way to do it. Now, most of the time, because your boy runs hot, I sleep on top of the comforter.
So I started doing this thing out here where I don't have a top sheet at all.
Yeah.
And I do only comforter.
Yeah.
And it's the way to do it.
It's I do agree with that.
There's no reason for the top sheet. It just adds it adds too much complexity to your comfort.
Yeah.
There's too many layers to mess up.
We'll do summertime, just top sheet. So it's just a sheet. That's enough. Or if I get a little chilly in the middle of the night, I'll throw the sheet on. But to counter the like, why do you tuck the sheet in? Because the feeling of my body being covered by the sheet, but my toes sticking out, infuriates me.
Well, just
I hate the feeling.
Don't stick them out.
But you move around, and it
Mhm.
naturally the sheet, creeps up, and your toes stick out.
You're scared of losing your feet.
I have something about that. The potential of someone like grabbing my feet and dragging me. I think that's like a big irrational fear.
Yeah, I guess. You're
Man,
6.
it's stuck with me. Swimming in lakes sucks. The lake water's gross. There's probably leeches. It's just like water sitting there. You don't feel clean after. When I swim in the ocean, I feel clean. Even if that's not true.
Even with all the salt and sand.
Even with all the salt, I feel like my body is cleansed by the ocean.
Interesting.
With the lake, I feel like I'm covered in algae.
Yeah, that's fair that it's just kind of sitting there.
And it's just dark water. Maybe there's snakes. Maybe there's,
There could be.
mystery creatures, invisible people to drag you down and kill you, drown you.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
I know it's irrational. Yeah. Hate a lake swim.
Yeah, every lake has its own little Atlantis of of people who are trying to recruit
It's
new
so
people
yep, yep.
who feed off the fear of boys at the surface.
We were talking earlier about every man has that little boy in them doing silly stuff.
Yeah.
Every man still has those like little boy fears also.
Yeah, I'm scared of cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll go on night walks and then there's some cats in the neighborhood where we walk and they legit chase. Like
I believe it.
like I would sometimes I say it as in a funny way because I don't want people to make fun of me too hard. Like, yeah, I'm in on the joke, but it's actually terrifying. But Lauren didn't believe me that they don't like me.
I didn't believe you at first either.
Yeah.
Years ago when he brought I thought like, oh, this is just like a funny bit where Tom acts like he doesn't like cats.
No. I
It's
cannot do it.
it's a whole thing.
I feel it at my core. It goes to my bones. I get goosebumps.
The cats feel that too, and that's why they don't like you.
And they
Animals
chase
pick
me.
up on that.
They stare at me.
Tom's just out there in the streets punting cats.
Yeah. They'll be a football field away. They'll spot me and then they'll get curious.
Yeah.
And it's
They can sense it.
Mm-hmm. Lauren finds it funny though, because she can protect me. But I'm like, they have rabies. Like,
I mean, I don't think most cats ever, wild cats, maybe.
what? But like, they pee on everything, and there's poison in it
Cat pee is poisonous?
to people.
What?
Yeah, there's like arsenic in it.
What?
Yeah, and then what was it like Poland or something? Finland, like just said that they're like an alien predator
Oh,
creature.
I saw that.
And it's like, I know.
Tom's like, I've been saying it for years.
It's kind of like when you see political polls come out and you're like, they didn't call me.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's like, dude, if you called me, you would have had this solved years ago.
Years of research
and experience.
Yeah. Cats, man.
Yeah. I had something for you.
Tell me. But just to cap off my
yeah.
your solution is for every 3 days, one big thing.
Yes.
I love that.
But also, it depends on who's bankrolling the vacation.
100% agree.
And like, if you were invited to a vacation,
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, someone else is kind of in charge of this. And
Oh,
it's like,
I'm all for going along and
it's
stuff.
their trip that they're including you on.
Yeah.
But if it's you collaborating with someone on a ideal trip,
Yeah.
the middle ground I think is a big thing for every 3 days.
Yeah.
Find something good to eat. And like just in that you can have small things like areas to check out,
I'm all
walk
about the small
around,
things.
look at the cool park, or like find some places that like you've seen pictures of.
You can find unexpected things.
You can. Or like sit at a bar, talk to the locals, ask them what you should check out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Hope that applies to some of y'all out there where you're like, oh, that is a great
Sold.
idea. Thanks. P&T.
P&T.
P&T. Okay. Give it to me.
So a couple of weeks ago, Lauren and I were going to a backyard barbecue pool party.
Sounds fun.
Not midday. It was like evening into night. And so it's like kind of cooler out.
Uh-huh.
You can wear pants, a hoodie, and we were going and she's converted me into being a sandals guy.
Yep.
Dude.
Yep. A lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts.
It's taken me 4 years of living in Los Angeles to wear shorts and have sandals.
Yeah. Yep.
I still feel uncomfortable.
Coming from the Northeast,
Mm-hmm.
you're a Northeast guy.
Yeah.
It's insanity to then dress like
Well,
shorts and
because
sandals.
I don't want stuff on my legs.
Yep.
Um. Anywho, so we're prepping to go to this party, and I was just like, can I just like I'm gonna wear pants, but like, can I just wear my sandals? And she was like, yeah, why not? And I was like, no, but can you like check out my feet and
Yeah.
see if they're too gnarly?
Like, are they okay to bring in public?
Right. And she's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, how do they actually look though?
It's like, hey, you love me.
Yeah.
You're on my side.
Right.
Now be honest.
Right. And so it's like, because they won't be like, oh, she's showing up with him. It'd be like, she's showing up with gnarly feet.
You will be known as like, what the hell? Did you see his feet? Did you?
You let him leave the house like this?
Yeah.
And so
she's okay with that? What does that say about her? So then she's also looped in.
right.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
she could be right and I could be doubting myself, you know?
Also true.
And so it's kind of like, how gnarly of foot is acceptable to be exposed long term at a party?
In LA, I
Mm-hmm.
think just not all of LA. But when most people think of LA, it's like very, everyone's beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
superficial, things like that.
Yeah.
That's not all of LA.
No.
But hearing that, I feel like that window for most LA parties, it's much smaller. Like you got to have pretty nice looking feet.
Yeah.
Because most people are in sandals and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, couple thoughts on this. Going to a party, closed-toed shoes.
Yeah. Well, indoor party, bar party, but outdoor party.
The outdoor party was at someone's backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still doing closed-toed.
Okay. Okay.
I could be convinced otherwise.
Yeah.
But just immediate reactions I'm
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Closed-toed always, especially if I don't know the people. If I
Yeah.
know the people,
That's the thing is I didn't know most of the people.
closed-toed shoes.
Yeah.
You want them to meet your face and you before they meet your toes.
Yeah.
If you're busting out first time meeting people and they're seeing your toes and you're self-conscious about that,
Mm-hmm.
they might pick up on that. Why is he trying to hide his toes? I was talking to him, but he kept shifting his toes, eyes on toes, and then your toe guy.
Yeah. I ended up sitting at a table most of the night.
See, that's the other thing. If it's going to affect your experience at the party,
Yeah.
just do closed toes so you're not thinking about it.
And yeah, so playing games in the grass
Yeah.
but yeah, that was a big factor that I forgot, which was I knew 3 people. There
Yeah.
was probably at least 25.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing it comes down to is how does it affect your mentality going to the party?
Yeah.
So the whole time you're thinking about your sandal toes, realistically, no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah.
They're thinking about themselves and how they look with their toes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So once you get to a comfortable enough place of wearing sandals where you're not thinking about it anymore,
Mhm.
then wear sandals to the party.
Perfect. You want to end on
Boom.
that?
That's it. That was a good.
Yeah. So thank you for listening and watching Paul and Tom Show, episode 3.
Trace.
And please like, subscribe, share, review, all the above. And
Show that love.
share it again. Love it. Give it all the likes. And tell us what you thought.
Yeah. We'll see you next episode.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.